Shortly after there was a meeting with Conrad Murray, Ortega testified that Murray said Jackson was physically and emotionally capable of doing the tour. Murray also told Ortega to stay out of Jackson's medical care.
Most of Michael Jackson's family was in court for the start of the trial. Michael's parents, Catherine and Joe, brothers Tito, Jermaine, and Randy, and sisters LaToya and Janet were all there for opening statements. Michael's mom was seen wiping tears from her eyes when the prosecution played a clip from the This Is It rehearsal video showing Michael performing Earth Song. Meanwhile, LaToya was sending out tweets during the proceedings. On the death photo of Michael Jackson shown during the prosecution's opening statements, LaToya said, "It sickens me to see what they did to my brother. Seeing his lifeless body laying there on the gurney is gut-wrenching." In another tweet, she said, "I feel like screaming." Murray knows exactly what happened at Carolwood and who else is behind all of this. She even attacked the first prosecution witness, Kenny Ortega, saying there's much more to Ortega's story and he knows it.
The shocking moment of the first day of the trial had to have been playing the audio tape of Michael Jackson. Hal Eisner talked to our legal experts about the impact that tape may have made with the jurors.
Were you surprised to hear it?
I was surprised to hear it.
A veteran attorney, a retired judge.
People had to be shocked. I was.
Shocked to hear Michael Jackson slurring his words because, according to the prosecution, he was under the influence of an unknown agent. The recording from May 2009, the month before he died, talking about his big comeback tour.
When people leave the show, when people leave my show, I want to say, I've never seen something like this in my life.
In a recording made by Dr. Conrad Murray on his iPhone from a few feet away from the superstar. Jackson says in this recording he wants to use his earnings to help 1 million kids.
Saying that money, I really should be the biggest in the world. My reaction to the top.
Very compelling. Very.
And to former Deputy DA Melanie Mukertichian, a score for the prosecution.
I thought that the jury probably didn't expect to hear a recording of a Michael Jackson. I thought that them hearing it is very impactful with the prosecution's point of view.
But defense attorneys I spoke with think Murray's team can turn this around to show Jackson was a drug addict and knew how to use them. Longtime defense attorney Winston McKesson.
This is consistent with Michael Jackson being a drug user, so I think it's totally consistent with the defense view of the case.
As we go through 5 weeks of trial, this one piece of evidence is not going to be that significant.
That's retired Superior Court Judge George Chiavelli. To him, hearing Jackson this way probably got jurors' attention, but
It's a while before he died, so I don't think it has a terribly prejudicial effect.
it might not be prejudicial, but for jurors, for all of us really, it was the first big surprise of this trial. In downtown Los Angeles, Hal Eisner, Fox 11 News.
Jurors will get a crash course on the drug propofol. It's an anesthetic Dr. Murray gave Jackson for severe insomnia. We asked anesthesiologist Rebecca Carr about defense claims Jackson gave himself a dose when the doctor was out of the room.
If Michael Jackson were under sedation or asleep from the propofol and the propofol was continuously infusing, it would be unlikely that he would wake up. But if the medication ran out and the drip stopped going, he could have woken up and theoretically gone and gotten himself another dose or turned the IV up.
The defense is also saying there was a combination of drugs. Michael had taken some other pills. Could that lead to death?
Yes, it could. Unfortunately, the drug interactions between the other medications that were found in his home, on his nightstand, and in his body at the autopsy, combined with propofol, make it much more dangerous.
The defense is saying Dr. Murray was trying to wean Michael Jackson off of propofol. Does that make sense to you?
It only makes sense if Michael Jackson was using too much and he was trying to give him less. But there had to be a starting point somewhere, and Michael Jackson shouldn't have been on it at all in the first place. I think it's very unfortunate that some doctors seem to be so infatuated with celebrity that they change their standards of care to please the person or the patient, and they are not practicing within what the right standards of care are, and then safety, patient safety, is compromised.
Are you saying it sounds as if Dr. Murray went along with what Michael Jackson wanted?
It sounds like that's the case. And often that is the case with people who have addiction problems. They can be extremely convincing that their use is appropriate, that the medication is helping them to function, that they really need it. It's very hard for doctors not to get sucked into that.
Guard says propofol is not to be used in the home setting. She says that's where Dr. Murray went wrong. Carlos.
And thanks to all of you who've made our Michael Jackson Doctor Trial app the #1 seller. If you don't have it yet, here's what you're missing. Live streaming coverage of the trial, court documents as soon as they're released, and the chance to ask our panel of legal experts questions about the trial. So get the Michael Jackson Doctor Trial app available on iTunes and the Apple Store. Now to politics. Is he or